Welcome back, everybody, to Clay and Buck. We are here with the founder of Blackwater and the founder of Unplugged, which he'll tell us a bit more about, Erik Prince. Erik, it's an honor. Thanks for being here with us.
Nice to be here, guys.
So we want to first tap into your extensive expertise in security matters, because we all saw the video, what happened, and the very close call the nation had with President Trump. There were people calling out right away that in a future Trump administration, you've got to have a prominent role. I'll put that piece of it aside. I won't put you on the spot and ask what that would be. How do you fix these places? Can you fix something like the Secret Service, given what we saw?
It was a massive display of incompetence. And I made a Twitter post and I said, it's another example of an overfunded, bloated, unaccountable bureaucracy that has embarrassed us again. But worse than that, we literally dodged a bullet. Donald Trump dodged a bullet. But imagine if Donald Trump was killed. What would the effect on America be? I fear that we'd be in a civil war. World War I started with an assassination of a leader. And it rewrote the map of Europe and killed tens of millions of people. There is so much done wrong on Saturday that anyone that's doing the advance, right? Most of the work of executive protection work is done ahead of time, before the principal arrives. And anyone that stands at the podium and looks around, they can see the obvious spot. It's called the Sniper's Hotel, where the place to lay up and take a shot from. It was clearly unguarded. Now there's talk about there was a SWAT team or something on the ground floor and not covering any of the roof line. So systemic fail.
How is that even possible?
How did this guy get a ladder in there? Then the Secret Service director says, well, we didn't have anybody on the roof because the roof is too steep. It's like a 12-degree slope. It's nothing. In fact, there's a picture of an FBI agent up there hosing off the blood splatter of the dead sniper, hosing it off, apparently not too steep for him. And then, they were observing this guy that they didn't know what he was, and nobody made the call, hey, put Trump in a position of cover until we figure this out. Nothing. So, look, the Secret Service has a lot of great people. Clearly had a lot of people that completely failed to do their job, and I feel bad for the officers that have done a great job throughout their career to have their entire professional reputation smashed by one very big fail.
How big? Talk about one very big fail, and you hit on it. We're an inch away from the world being completely different. How is there no consequences? For what you do, consequences are a big deal. Isn't that really the essence of the problem that we have with our government right now, whether it's COVID, everything else? Nobody pays a price for being wrong ever.
Unaccountable. Again, you have a complete botch of Afghanistan. No one pays the consequences. You have a $230 million pier in Gaza that washes away every few days, a complete and total fail. You have the Navy that's lost control of one of the major shipping lanes. Okay, Egypt loses $800 million a month from the Suez not being down. The first mission of the U.S. Navy, power projection, sea control, lost it to the Houthis. And now they just about lost the next president of the United States. Unbelievable. And it's not that this 20-year-old was that good.
Yeah.
I mean,
we were saying yesterday, imagine if somebody with real tactical skill went after the president.
Exactly.
And we all know what would have happened.
To lay down with a .338 at 1,000 meters, yeah, you could probably make a good shooter could probably make that shot. Not at 140 yards. The Secret Service counter snipers are looking with a 5 to 14 or a 5 to 25 power scope, which means you can tell whether the guy had shaved that morning or not. That's the level of detail. So for them to not see, someone's got a rifle, someone's pointing the rifle. I've never heard of a police officer not being able to stop someone that has clear means and intent to commit murder. And so I'm stunned that the Secret Service didn't fire first and engage what was obviously a threat.
We're talking to Erik Prince, founder of Blackwater, founder of Unplugged Phone. Erik, just let's play this out for a second. Trump wins, God willing, hopefully. Looking good, but who knows? Maybe you come in as Secretary of Defense. Let's just say you were, though. Let's just say theoretically this happens. You're SecDef. What do you do? What do you do to fix things?
I'll say the same thing I said last December. Fire fire every flag officer, make them submit on day one a resume that shows what they did for merit and lethality in the previous year. For all the guys that are talking about diversity and environmental and green, no. What did MacArthur say in his duty on our country speech? Ours is the profession of arms. We have one job, win wars. We have a military that has not won a war in a long time. It is time to go back to a focus of the War Department, not Department of Defense, and all the other distractions and noise. What happened in Afghanistan over 20 years? Unacceptable. What happened in Iraq after 12 years? Unacceptable. We have the most expensive military in the world that is not delivering results to the American people and to our republic. That must fix. That must be repaired.
I'm looking down at my cell phone right now. I know a lot of people out there, they saw the AT&T breach. They saw that their text messages are out there, phone numbers are out there. I know that I speak for a lot of people when I say I get nervous about the security of the phone. How much do you think people should be nervous about their cell phones, about their ability to send text messages, everything else? You're a military guy.
They should be very nervous. The surveillance capitalism industry has exploded. It's what made the top 5 tech firms in America the most valuable companies in the world, larger GDPs than most countries. And what Congress just passed a month ago with the FISA extension, now it means that any federal agent, for any reason, can go to a private company and say, turn over all this data that's coming from apps, where you go, what you buy, who you call, what you browse, everything, turn it over to the federal government without a warrant and without even probable cause. So it is the most massive expansion of Big Brother snooping ever. We did an unplugged phone, started 3 years ago after the 2020 election, with all the nonsense around canceling certain voices and throwing conservatives off. We said we're never going to change big tech by complaining. We're going to compete and build an uncancelable phone. We've done that. Our phone is our hardware with our operating system based on an Android kernel, but our operating system prevents the apps from collecting and harvesting your data. A fundamental difference. We're the antithesis of surveillance capitalism. We have our own secure messenger, our own VPN, obviously our own store, but our messenger generates a new encryption key every call. So, yes, you can communicate with your friends and family. Our messenger is also available on the Google or Apple stores, but the difference is we don't collect your stuff.
Where do people go to find this?
Unplugged.com.
Unplugged.com. Eric Prince.
In
you
stock?
see the look he gave, by the way, when I said in the Trump administration? I don't know, Eric. I don't know. Duty may call, man. You think that it's... I know capitalism is good, but the president's going to need a lot of hands on deck.
Listen, I have always answered the call when America calls. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
I know.
I'm just saying it's unlikely. But
right.
I have always...
that's
my
more.
default when Uncle Sam calls is yes.
Yeah, there we
Let
go.
me ask you one more. You're an expert on this. It's 3.5 months till the election. Buck and I both said they're going to try to kill Trump. That happened by the mercy of God. And
The flutter of an angel's
inch.
wings.
He is alive today.
Yep.
How scared or nervous, based on what you saw, are you that somebody, to Buck's point, who's way more sophisticated and way more on top of things could look at all those security failures and say, my God, if this 20-year-old with virtually no real skill was able to become that close to killing the president, should we not be concerned about another attempt or more than one attempt?
I hope the Secret Service ups their game substantially. People have said, well, you need to put private guys in there. It'd be very difficult to integrate fully private detail supporting the Secret Service, but I think there's probably room. You have to look at this like a predator.
Yeah.
And you need predators, hunters that hunt men on the advanced team to look at how they would try to kill Trump and make their priority list, and you go and they block every one of those attributes. That's how you protect the president.
Erik Prince, thank you for your service to the country, sir, and we appreciate you making the time for us here today. Thanks so
for having
much.
me, boys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.